Did you catch that magical swirl of green smoke and glittering pink bubbles lighting up the Dancing with the Stars ballroom on October 21? If not, oh boy, have you missed out on a night that turned the competition into a full-blown Oz extravaganza, complete with flying monkeys and spirit, tear-jerking moments, and scores that finally broke the 10 barrier like a witch melting under a bucket of water. Season 34's Wicked Night wasn't just another episode, it was a spellbinding showdown where celebrities channeled their inner Elphabas and Glindas, dancing to the iconic soundtrack of the upcoming Wicked movie. And trust me, it had more twists than the Yellow Brick Road after a tornado. From the opening medley that had everyone defying gravity to the heartbreaking elimination that sent one couple packing, this was the kind of TV that makes you forget about your own two left feet and root for these stars like they're your long-lost family. Stick around as we dive into every shimmy, every spin, and every judge's quip that made this night unforgettable. Because by the end, you'll be humming Popular while plotting your own dance-off in the living room. Let's kick things off with the vibe of the evening, shall we? The ballroom was transformed into Shiz University meets Emerald City, with hosts Julianne Hu and Alfonso Ribeiro kicking off the show in true Wicked fashion. Julianne as a bubbly Glinda and Alfonso as a sassy Elphaba in the opening number, choreographed by none other than Wicked's own Christopher Scott. Picture Derek Huff leaping into the fray during Dancing Through Life, and the whole troupe belting out a medley of hits like No One Mourns the Wicked, Defying Gravity, For Good, Thank Goodness, and What Is This Feeling? It was pure Broadway magic injected straight into primetime TV, and if that didn't get your heart racing, the special guest appearances sure did. We got video shoutouts from Wicked stars Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, and Michelle Yeoh, plus an exclusive sneak peek at the sequel, Wicked for Good, hitting theaters on November 21. And holding court at the judges' table, Jon M himself, the director behind the films, joining Carrie Ann, Bruno Tonioli, and Derek Huff to dish out scores with a side of cinematic flair. No elimination last week meant double the stakes. Votes from Dedication Night and Wicked Night combined with scores to decide who stays and who flies off on a broomstick. Now, on to the dances that had us all spellbound. First up was Scott Hoying from Pentatonix and his partner Riley Arnold tackling a contemporary routine to The Wizard and I. Scott's a Wicked superfan. He's seen the Broadway show maybe 20 times and has the movie on loop at home. He's even buddies with Ariana and has sung with Cynthia before. Their performance was enthusiastic, with Scott pouring his soul into it, but the judges spotted some rough edges. Jon Chu kicked off the feedback by declaring this the best season ever, praising Scott for learning a new style so quickly, though he wished for cleaner transitions. Bruno noted Scott's overenthusiasm led to missed passes, advising a bit of more control, while Carrie Ann critiqued his arms but called it an amazing opener. Derek echoed the transition notes, suggesting Scott think of the dance as one continuous thought. They scored a 28 out of 40, solid but not enough to save them later. More on that heartbreak in a bit. Scott, ever the optimist, shared in his pockets that he's expecting a baby with his husband Mark via surrogate, adding an extra layer of joy to his journey, even if it ended here. Next, Alix Earle and Val Chmerkovskiy brought the sass with a jazz routine to What Is This Feeling? Alix, the TikTok sensation, confessed she's got theater roots, but always ended up as background fodder, like a tree or even a printing machine, because singing wasn't her forte. Well, she flipped that script here, nailing Ariana's famous Glinda hair flip and recreating the book sequence from the film. Bruno called it delicious and a nod to classic musical comedy. Carrie Ann admitted it wasn't her toughest dance, but declared it her best yet, imagining her little sister Isabel cheering from home. Derek praised the storytelling, and Jon seconded the fun factor. A 35 out of 40 put them solidly in the mix, proving Alix is no longer just branching out, she's blooming. Then came Robert Irwin and Whitney Carson, jazzing it up to Dancing Through Life. Robert, the wildlife whiz instead of the late Steve Irwin, revealed he's such a Wicked devotee that he rented out a theater for his 21st birthday bash to watch the film. Channeling Prince Fiero with Whitney as Glinda, their routine was ambitious and joyful. Carrie Ann dubbed the song Robert's new theme, praising how he nailed the challenge. Derek suggested ditching the hiking boots for Broadway shoes, insisting Robert was born to perform. Jon, watching live for the first time, said it was even better in person, and Bruno called it a joyful theatrical treat. Robert gushed about Whitney being his new big sister, scoring them a personal best of 36. If crocodiles could dance, they'd take notes from this guy. But hold on to your pointy hats, the first 10s dropped like ruby slippers from the sky, courtesy of Whitney Leavitt and Mark Ballas, with their Quickstep to Popular. Whitney from The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives related to Glinda's bubbly know-it-all vibe, and boy did she own it in all pink, with Mark matching like a Ken doll gone Oz. The routine was jam-packed and advanced, leaving Derek leaping from his seat in shock, declaring they were discovering a star. Jon called it the perfect blend of technique and fun, Bruno dubbed it Glinda gone ballistic, and Carrie Ann praised Whitney's unhinged energy in the best way, noting her weekly improvements. 3 10s and a 9 for 39 points had Whitney beaming, and in post-show chats, she admitted channeling Glinda felt natural, while the Quickstep's familiarity from their Hamilton foxtrot helped. Mark was proud regardless, emphasizing the dance's demands. If perfection had a name, it'd be this duo. Though tied later, they set the bar sky high. Dylan Afron and Daniela Karagosh rumba to One and Not That Girl, where Dylan admitted the romance was way out of his comfort zone, but Daniela credited him for making her a better dancer. Jon spotted their deep connection, incredulous that Dylan was a newbie. Bruno loved the hips but noted occasional over-control, calling rumba tough for guys. Carrie Ann hailed their magical partnership despite a stuck foot, and Derek acknowledged Dylan's growth. 32 kept them safe, proving even Zac Efron's brother can sway hearts without a script. Andy Richter and Emma Slater jazzed to One Short Day, transporting us to the Emerald City. Andy shared how the show made him feel more alive, and their routine was a miracle of sync per Bruno, who jokes even the great Oz couldn't top it. Carrie Ann called Andy proof dances for all, Derek loved his troupe hangout moment, and Jon praised his underdog grind aligning with Wicked's themes. First sevens for 27, Andy's progress is like that one friend who starts karaoke night shy and ends belting show tunes. Elaine Hendrix and Alan Burston's contemporary to Defying Gravity was a tearjerker. Elaine was 54 and battling a titanium foot joint, broke down in rehearsals about her limits but soared on stage. Carrie Ann wept, calling it truly in the moment and elegant. Derek knew of her struggles, praising her grace and odds-defying moves. Jon called her amazing. Bruno lauded her character immersion. A 36 had Elaine declaring her triumph over age and injury. If this doesn't inspire your next workout, what will? Jen Affleck and Jen Robnick's foxtrotted As Long As You're Mine, with Jen relating to Alphaba's O's cast from her school days in Utah. Derek felt her deep connection, Jon admired her push for complexity, Bruno noted improving flow, and Carrie Ann liked her evolving direction. 32 points, and Jen's perseverance shines brighter than any emerald. Daniel Fishel and Pasha Pashkov's Argentine tango to No Good Deed was her breakthrough, embracing a dark side. Jon loved her rising above boxes, Bruno called her a passionate sexy mama, Carrie Ann saw power, Derek noted pro moves, all nines for 36, with Danielle jumping for joy like she'd won the lottery. Closing strong, Jordan Childs and Ezra Sosa rumbit to 4 good amidst poppies. Bruno keemed it drop-dead gorgeous, Carrie Ann didn't want the night to end, Derek praised grounding, and Jon saw Olympic fire in her eyes. 3 10s and a 9 for 39, Ezra's first 10 ever shared with his adored partner. Jordan reflected on their halfway growth, leaving it all on the floor like gymnastics gold. Alas, not all fairy tales end happily. After safeties for most, the bottom 3, Scott and Riley, Andy and Emma, and Dylan and Daniela. Scott and Riley were sent home amid 100 million votes. Scott called it everything, Riley his favorite, and she reciprocated. Their contemporary opener was poignant, but scores and votes sealed it. Scott's baby news softens the blow, he's got bigger adventures ahead. This Wicked Night elevated season 34, blending emotion, spectacle, and dance prowess. Remaining stars like Jordan, Robert, Whitney, Danielle, Dylan, Jen, Elaine, Alix, and Andy gear up for Halloween horrors next. From first 10s to tears, it reminded us why WTS endures. Heart, hustle, and a dash of magic. We'll snag the Len Goodman mirror ball? The drama's just brewing. If this recap had you tapping your toes or clicking at the judge's antics, hit that subscribe button to Inside Hollywood for more behind-the-scenes scoops, celebrity spotlights, and all the glittery gossip from Tinseltown. Don't miss a beat. Your next favorite story is just a click away.